department head isn't always what it's cracked up to be. I know. I'm Frank Robbins, office manager here at Amalgamated Products. Something just happened to me that, well, shouldn't happen to anybody. I did everything I could to avoid it, but it happened anyway. Didn't take long either. 2 weeks ago, everything was fine. Yes, sir? It was just 2 weeks ago that I got that phone call.
Mr. Robbins?
Yes?
Mr. Radford is calling on line 1.
Oh, all right, thank you. We'll finish this later.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yes, Mr. Radford. Oh, fine, thanks.
Robbins, we have an opening for an office manager in our Lake City plant. Now, as you know, it's a small operation, but nevertheless, it's a responsible job. We'd like for the man to come from your office. To be perfectly frank, we'd like for him to run that one the way you run yours. Now, give us your best man, Robbins. If he succeeds, you'll get the credit.
And if he didn't succeed, well, we all know who'd get the blame. So I had one obvious problem. Which man to send? Actually, there were only two who really qualified. Harry Stevens, our oldest and most competent employee, and Bob Randolph, comparatively new, but very promising, a man with a lot of potential. Well, for 2 weeks I studied these men. I weighed the merits of one against the merits of the other. Bob Randolph, with only 5 years on the job, had proven himself time and again. University graduate, a hard worker, and always willing to accept responsibility. Bob has a warm personality, gets along well with everyone in the office. He's a nice appearing chap, too. Well-mannered, well-dressed. The office personnel look up to Bob. He's a lot of fun, and yet Bob knows where to draw the line. His main qualification for the job was a knack of getting other people to do things his way without creating hard feelings in the process. On the other hand, Harry Stevens was a good man, too. In fact, Harry has always been thought of as our most competent employee. Been around 15 years. Harry is conscientious, extremely efficient, and very thorough. We always depended on him to relate the workings of the plant to good office procedure. But with Harry, appearances just never counted for much. Neither did conversation or social life. He unconsciously glowers at people. He speaks his mind in a blunt, almost unfriendly manner. But Harry's bark is worse than his bite. And I've always made certain our people understood this. Before long, they like him. So, those were the two men to choose from. I didn't want to act hastily. My neck was out a mile on this deal. Harry deserved the promotion, but I had to consider the new surroundings that he'd meet in another office. And to make a long story short, I gave the job to Bob Randolph. I was sure that he could handle it, and I wasn't sure how others would react to Harry's personality, nor for that matter, how he would react to them. I was certain that I'd made the right decision. Felt pretty good about it, too. And to make sure that Harry didn't get any wrong ideas from hearing the news second or third hand, I called him in to explain my decision. Harry, something's come up I want to talk to you about. But before I do, I just wanted to tell you I appreciate the good job you've been doing. The good job you've always done, the time that you've put in. Like I've told you before, Harry, you're the best man that we've ever had in the office. Sometimes it's easy for a fellow to think that he's been taken for granted. And I just want to make sure that you don't think that's happened in your case.
No, of course not, Frank.
Well, good. You know, we've all come to depend a great deal on you, Harry. Not just me, but everybody here in the office. And I want you to know that not only do I realize it, but so does top management.
Yes?
You've been here 15 years
15
now.
and a half.
You know our operation like the palm of your hand. Harry, if anybody deserved a promotion on the basis of ability and seniority, it certainly is you.
Well, thanks,
2 weeks ago, I got a call from Mr. Radford. The company needs a manager at the Lake City plant. Mr. Radford expressed his admiration for our setup here, and he wanted me to pick a man from our office for the job. Now, you know and I know that we only have 2 men who could fill the job, and you're one of them.
Well, thank you, Frank.
The other one is Bob Randolph.
Yeah, I'll agree. He's a good man.
Harry, I decided to give the job to Randolph.
What?
Now, wait a minute. That doesn't mean that he's a better man than you are. Actually, I gave the job to our second best man. I mean it, Harry, sincerely. You're the best man that we've ever had. It's just that, well, Randolph has certain personal qualifications that I felt would assure him success. And Harry, I wanted you to be the first one to know about this so you wouldn't get any wrong ideas from the grapevine.
Well, I appreciate that, Frank, but
Harry,
don't you think
this
that...
job calls for going into a new office, meeting and dealing with absolute strangers. The man who got the job would have a lot of people to win over to his way of thinking. And you know as well as I do that Randolph has a great knack for working with people. Something that a lot of people, like maybe you or I, don't have to the same degree.
Yes, I must admit that's true.
I felt that Bob could go into a spot like this and start producing without any complications. You know, Harry, that we all think the world of you around here. We know you. We know the type of work you can put out. I was just afraid that in a new office you might find some trouble getting started. Now, that wouldn't be fair to you, Harry.
No, I guess not.
Now, Harry, this doesn't mean that you've hit the ceiling. There'll be other openings and other promotions before you know it. Well, I guess that just about covers it.
I appreciate you taking the time to tell me all this, Frank.
If you have any questions or comments, let's hear them, Harry. I sure don't want any misunderstanding.
Well, I guess I have one thing to say about it.
Well, good. Out with it.
I quit.
Quit? But, Harry, you're my best man. Well, I'll be... What did I do wrong?
One of the most common causes of injuries in work situations is falling. Falls are second only to auto accidents in number of fatalities. People seem to have the idea of fall, they'll be able to get up and walk away. It doesn't work that way. Falls can bring the lifelong miseries and limitations of a chronic bad back, or the daily discomfort and insecurity of a trick knee, or the end of wage-earning days. When a person slips, the feet simply slide out from under it. Often, as a result, the unsupported body comes crashing down. Feet can skid easily and unexpectedly in any direction on many kinds of slimy, oily, or greasy materials that can change a good surface into a dangerous one. A very small spot can do the damage. Even if there's no actual fall, a badly wrenched back may be the result. Sometimes the feet go out from under the body because a surface moves out from under them. Balance is a critical factor in falls. Just moving from one place to another at work always involves the possibility of tripping or stumbling over an object, large or small. Carrying something can greatly increase the risk of falling. A new balance factor is added. An uneven place in the floor, a loose tile, a protruding steel band, a small item that shouldn't be there will do the trick. And if vision is blocked by the load being carried, a fall is practically guaranteed. Running, of course, increases the chances of a serious injury. People at work often set themselves up for a fall. A fall may result from thinking only of the task and not how to do it. Putting pressure on some resisting object involves a key point of balance. And if the resistance suddenly changes, you can be thrown for a painful fall. Another common way of destroying balance is overreaching. The slip of a hand in this vulnerable position means a fall for sure. Chairs, stools, or other objects are often turned into small platforms to aid in reaching, and their stability is often tested beyond their limits. Slipping, tripping, or losing balance in combination with other hazardous factors can be doubly disastrous. A natural reflex attempt to reach out for something to hold on to can sometimes only make things worse. Height is another complicating factor, greatly increasing the seriousness of a fall. But a fracture from falling only one step can take as long to heal as any other. On stairs, anything that can cause slipping, tripping, or loss of balance becomes a bigger threat because the body is balanced on one foot most of the time. An object doesn't have to be very big or very high to cause serious trouble on stair steps. When a standard platform or service ladder is bypassed to reach an unusual vantage point, a foot may be placed on a small or irregular surface where it can slip. It may look like a shortcut to jump down. That's often a shortcut to the hospital. Shortcuts that look logical often wind up in dead ends. Trying to get across that last gap in a shortcut may put a man out of work for several weeks. If a man is wearing a safety belt attached to a suspension line fastened to a safe support, even though near a sheer drop in space, he may be in a safer condition than a man 3 or 4 feet off the floor. A person moving backwards who catches his heels at the edge of a platform can be thrown over so fast his head hits first. Ladders combine height and balance. They can produce heart-stopping scares when they move just slightly, and bone-fracturing falls when they move enough. The 4-to-1 angle is always the safe position for setting up a ladder. The rule is, set a straight ladder 1/4 as far as the height of its support point. It's particularly important to secure ladders that are leaned against cylindrical or irregular surfaces, or set on uneven surfaces. But no matter how the ladder is set, any heavy pushing or pulling up there can lead to a painful fall. It always takes 2 hands to go up or down a ladder safely. Heavy or clumsy material should never be hand-carried up a ladder. Sure, moving a high ladder is an effort, but it is far healthier than overreaching and risking a permanent injury. Always remember to keep your belt buckle inside the rails of the ladder you're working on, and you won't reach out too far. And remember, the personal penalty can be very severe for a failure to thoroughly inspect the crucial parts of a ladder or scaffold before using it. The best trick of all is not to fall. To some extent, it always hurts to fall. It may be only your dignity, or it may be your head, your back, and your paycheck that get hurt. Stay alert to this hazard. Remember how falls happen. Try to make sure that no one falls because of what you do. No one, including yourself.